Hello and welcome everyone to another Diecast review. This time we're taking a look at Brad Keselowski's number 6 Violet Defense Ford Mustang for the 2022. It's a next-gen car, folks. I got it this past weekend at MIS from the hauler. Again, I believe these were all kind of air freighted in. But if you want to stay up to date on what cars are actually out there for you to buy, you can go online, buy them. CircleBdiecast.com. Got a link down in the video description below, and also our code JTN at checkout. This car, though, of course, Brad Keselowski taking on a part ownership role over at RFK Racing now, the former Roush Fenway Racing, piloting the number 6 car. Let's take a look at the box, though. Brad's name, 2022 NASCAR Cup Series. It's pretty simple, folks. Lionel, the official diecast of NASCAR. There's no longer RCCA, still the choice champions on the boxes. Interesting little note. RCCA Elite logo, Ford licensed product logo, all that jazz, and the top has nothing on it, so we'll get the box out of the way because you don't care about that. You care about the diecast car. I do too. A very good looking car. Purple cars are cool. Purple cars are mean. Purple and yellow on top of that with fluorescent yellow. It's kind of coming through a little more red in it, but it's more of like a fluorescent kind of Menards color on the yellow on this Violet Defense car. And I'm going to take you through all the little intricacies of this paint scheme. But let's first talk about the diecast. Of course, this is the new next-gen Ford Mustang mold. These cars, it's hard to tell from this, but they have definitely gotten beefier and taller in the front. I think that's the technical term for it. These things, they just look taller on the front, but still kind of the lower profiles still. So it makes the greenhouse, this roof area, from the A post to the C post up, that greenhouse makes it look a little bit smaller. Not a bad thing. That makes it look more like a coupe. It makes it look more like a Mustang. That was all part of the reason of making this change for the next gen. Little details too with the decaling on the hood. There's actually little decals that kind of represent where the hood louvers would be, which is how they let out some of that air that gets taken in through right underneath the grille decal on the front of the race car. Some of that air also goes out through the sides here, through these channels, which are modeled on this car very well. A little chamfer there. You also have, of course, the decaling for the dual exhaust, one pipe out of each side. That was to help with driver cooling. You have the mold for the diffuser on the back end. It's a rounded back end, too. It's not flat like these cars used to be. I am all over the place, and the camera doesn't know what to do, folks. But the next-gen car, it looks pretty cool. I am very impressed with the modeling, the tooling that Lionel has brought out this year. I know that that is a big reason why we haven't gotten a lot of these cars yet, is the tooling change. That will always be their excuse anytime they have delays on cars, whether it be shipping. But tooling is usually the biggest thing because you have to create all new tooling, right? These diecasts, these toolings, you know, they can get CAD models, they can get all these things, they can get models from the manufacturers to kind of make into their own tooling, but if that tooling isn't made correctly, you run into problems. Your injection molding, the bottom part, the bottom plastic most likely as well, and some of the other plastic pieces. So there's a lot of intricate little things that go on with these cars that kind of have caused for these delays this year. And of course, Lionel is always going to blame the shipping, but a lot of it has to do with the actual process that they use, which isn't a bad thing because that's the process any diecast company would have to use, or any manufacturing company for that matter. But nonetheless, let's take you more through some of the things about this car. It's hard to tell, but you can actually see the little reflection down there. Look at that. This black top bottom doing a good job. But the 6, of course, on the door on all the RFK cars, they have the reflective metallic color on the numbers. So like Chris Buescher, the Fastenal cars have the silver and blue numbers. This car has the metallic purple number. The roof number, of course, is the fluorescent yellow. Of course, it is also the new RFK number 6, so a new 6 on these cars. Yeah, so the front of the car, you got black on the bottom with the splitter area, and then you go purple on the hood. Violet Defense big there, RFK logo beneath the driver's side headlight, 6 below the passenger side headlight. It's hard to see. The camera is trying. And you also have Sunoco decals still up there. We'll go down the driver's side. The 6, of course, moved towards the front of the car, skewed backwards. NASCAR race car logo, or Cup Series logo. No more NASCAR race car logo. Whoopsie. Keselowski's new name rail there. You have the Kohler generators on the C post, which is right there off the back. Ford logos, violet defense there on the side, Fastenal, Kohler generators again. So all your important logos, details are there on the car. Off the back, you got violet defense, an RFK logo there to the left, and a number 6 there to the right. Fluorescent 6 kind of blends in with that fluorescent yellow line. Again, it is fluorescent. It's not this kind of rich yellow that's coming through on the camera that kind of matches the Goodyears on the side. And then this side, of course, the same as the last. The number on this side is skewed forward. So if you look, they don't change the skew of the number. The number is always skewed to the right of what you would read it. So there it's skewed this way. Here it's also skewed that way. So that had no help. It's always skewed this way across your screen. All right. As we look at the passenger side, let's talk more about the design of the car. You got the purple, you go to the black that fades back to purple as you get to the back of the car. You also have these little white swoops that are kind of cool little accent touches. You have this fluorescent yellow line that goes up from here and then up onto the C post. And you also have, and this is something that I think is a Brad Keselowski idea, the common portion of every RFK car are these little stripes, that team branding. And I know a lot of folks didn't like the Penske scallops. I love them. The team branding aspect, that is something that's common on every single RFK car, which is a really cool thing that really kind of helps with, the brand identity. I think that's part of what we've seen with like a Trackhouse Racing 2311 is they've really built branding for their team. And RFK trying to do the same exact thing, especially making some common branding there on the Diecast cars. Violet defense is big there on the side. Of course, this paint scheme is also on the 17. I believe the 17 has bright yellow numbers on the side, though. So there are some little key differences, and the roof number probably different. They did the 2 violet defense cars to mess with the spotters at Richmond earlier this year. Richmond coming up this weekend, too. Hey, look at that tie-in. But, yeah. These next-gen cars, they are definitely a treat. They're different. They're fun. They're unique. I think Lionel definitely impressed me. They did better than I thought they would with the tooling. You still have some deficiencies with the decals. Like, if you look, it's hard to tell. But as I look at it from my vantage point, the Ford logo is not centered there on the middle of the car or the Mustang. Or something's not centered. Something is not lining up center. That Mustang and the Ford logo, they're off a little bit. It's kind of hard to tell, but they definitely don't look like they're completely centered. Things like that are going to happen. They're on the front. That might actually give you a little better look at it if I do that. But some of the decaling and stuff is, of course, going to be a little wonky. This one I'm actually pretty pleased with. No major defects. I've seen a couple cars with major defects out there in the Twitter space and Instagram and all the like, but nonetheless, a really cool, really cool Brad Keselowski Violet Defense car. I was very happy to get it. Walked in with Brad Keselowski Kohler Generators shirt. Was really hoping to get that Kohler Generators car because I think that paint scheme is amazing, but this one would have to do. With all that being said, though, folks, cannot thank you enough for watching this Diecast review here on JTN2. As always, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to see more about these cars, you can find us on our TikTok at Johto Network. It posts little videos that kind of help show you, like, woo, look at that. But nonetheless, a really cool diecast car here. Brad Keselowski's Violet Defense Ford Mustang here for the 2022. It's next gen here for RFK Racing. Remember to use the code JTN at checkout at CircleBDiecast.com. You'll receive $5 off your shipping on your order of $30 or more. You'll also help support us here on JTN. With all that being said, though, folks, thank you so much for watching. Click like, subscribe. We have all kinds of great content, more diecast reviews coming right here on JTN2. So long for now, folks.